This video is about the forms of Satan. Obviously, there's a lot of artifacts that show that I'm right, and there's nothing they can do to ever take from that. Once you see what it's getting at, you know that no matter what happened, no matter what the details are, it doesn't change the idea that it's touching on. That is something that you should have seen already. Okay, look at the different forms of people. Do they tell their tale? Yes. Does the form of the leopard tell its tale? What was it trying to do? Where is it trying to go? How is it trying to survive, and why? The first thing you must understand is that these people like to con you. Lucifer, as it said, likes to pretend that he is an angel of light. He likes to pretend that he is the Son of God himself. Certainly after I'm gone, the most disgraced people are the types of people that benefit the most, which perhaps at the top of the list, depending on how successful they are, is someone who claims to be the Son of God. There can be no Son of God after I die. I did not raise a son myself. I did not give him my name. I did not name him in a way. I did not transfer the Spirit to this person, whoever it is. Okay, so understand that if somebody seems like he's in my form, I don't care if he can move at the speed of light with his strikes, right? There's nothing that they can do at this time because of technology, because of the nerd, to validate themselves. Okay, they're done. Okay, the time I'm living in was already cutting it close enough. After that, it's over. So what are the forms of Set? Well, Set is associated with Apep. So all serpent forms are obviously evil. All serpent-like people, all serpent energies. All people playing with snakes and trying to pretend they're the good guys or something. Evil. Okay, the turtle is associated with Apep and Set as well. This is the idea of an armored, kind of smaller person who's armored, right? An archer. Someone with a slingshot, a boomerang. Rocks, projectiles. Okay, this person is armored, they're moving in. And perhaps in their more effective forms, as you take a good look at the pictures, you see the dwarf-like form, right? He can carry the armor, right? He's not skinny, right? It's not going to hurt his back. He's kind of fortified, okay, as he moves in, right? The dwarf, okay, the gnome, right? And the elf is more of an archer, kind of maneuverable kind of idea. Okay? And we see this in popular culture as well, Lord of the Rings and fantasy world stuff and Elf Quest and what have you. All right. So there's the hippo, right? He gets big and strong, right? He's in the hippo energy. Hippo has a silly face. It also has an evil face. Don't underestimate. Go take a look at hippo pictures. Eventually you're going to see this more dangerous predator face. This is a face that a lot of people make when they rape women. Okay? They'll look at them in this crazy way, right? It terrorizes them. It's a way to dominate the flesh. If they're not in the Spirit of God, they're afraid of that face. If they're in the Spirit of God, right, or some kind of adverse spirit, they're going to want to strike them, strike at them because of that face. Don't confuse the spirit of the energy of the flesh with the Spirit of God. Their brain can still be wired to reject that face and to want to lash out without being in the Spirit of God. It's also the difference between the bull and the lion and the leopard and the falcon. The leopard and the falcon are trying to go up the tree of life. They're trying to take off. They're trying to soar. They're trying to jump high. They're trying to take off. Okay, the lion is low mass, right? Low to the ground, right? Where I'm from, the Mexican name for hell, I believe, the Spanish name is lomas, right? Low mass, right? Low key, right? Enki, right? Law enforcement. The force for the N, which is the Sumerian word for Lord and meant meaning mind. Okay, anyway. So you have the boar, another armored thing, right? The hippo has a lot of fat, right? His armor. The boar has more of like a police armor, it's almost unnatural kind of armor that's but it's natural. Okay, and the turtle, it's the same thing. Its flesh is like turning into like a rock-like shell. It's a shell. It's turning away from flesh. Right? It's almost an unnatural kind of armor, but it's natural. Okay. So then we have the jackal. The jackal's like a fox. If the fox, the black pig, are also associated with Set. And I've seen, I don't know if I'm going to be able to put this because of the way it looks, and it seems anti-Semitic or something. It has this Jew-looking person, I'm pretty sure they're Jews, sitting on a black pig and another one kissing its ass. It obviously has sexual connotations. So also we know when we look at the hunter's palette that this is about animal spirits, one way or another, even if it was about an authentic hunt, which I don't believe it is. Because we see the animal-headed humans in Egypt later on, right? The Horus takes on new form. He has an animal head. On the Narmer palette, he doesn't have an animal head, but he has an apron, or rather a kilt. And you have the falcon, you know, standing on these things, and there's all kinds of explanations for what they are. They represent the gnomes. They represent da-da-da-da-da. You know, the idea is more important than the specifics. The idea of soaring to heaven. Okay. So, of course, the jackal, the fox, right? This is this kind of, I would say, effeminate kind of thing. We'll see liberal forms of it quite common. Right? Kind of tight jeans, kind of pretty boy face at times, you know, kind of biker, you know, excuse me, a bicyclist, okay? You know, there's guys with this kind of wolf kind of shaped face, right? Fox shaped face, right? You know, this kind of thing. So, you know, we see a lot of people, these chihuahuas, I can't help but think, are they, you know, dog and God and prophet, pro-pet? Are they really trying to get at the smaller set form? Now remember, it gets a little bit tricky because you have the sandal bearer, but the sandal bearer eventually betrayed Pharaoh. Okay? Do you see them teaming up with me? No. You see them standing with me. Their daughters being receptive. No, no, no. Okay? The sandal bearer looks like a Filipino or some kind of an Asian kind of looking black guy. Okay? And then you have Shu and Anhor, which resemble the sandal bearer on the Nar-Mer palette. Wow, a bunch of costumes on mine, but anyway. Hey, right when I say law enforcement. Matter of fact, I'm gonna snap a picture. You know, I'm over here on, you know, on the east side. Okay, do I need to snap a picture of this motherfucking shit? You know, fuck, I'm gonna go ahead and snap a picture. Okay, I'm gonna hold up an orange juice I have right here. Okay, wish I had something else to have the date on it, but okay, I'll just use this orange juice. This half drinking orange juice from McDonald's. Okay, anyway, so there's all kinds of stuff that, you know, that occurs when I'm making videos, when I'm out and about, talking about the things I'm talking about. That's everything to do with them keeping an eye on me and using technology to figure out what I'm going to do and try to direct me in certain ways and so on and so forth. So anyway, as we look at this thing, we also must consider who controlled the breeding with who, right? First and foremost, these people injected themselves effectively into Europe. It's a little bit more difficult to pinpoint when you look at the Middle East, right? Because they left the Middle East, went to Europe, and the Middle East had a lot of shifts of power since then. Certainly they control the reproductive cycles of the Middle East now, right? The followers of Seth. But certainly where they really pronounced themselves was in Europe, right? Through Crete into Greece into Rome. Okay. Then these guys took the children, right? The people who accepted the mark of the beast and went into the Americas, right? It goes back to the 1492 and Cortez and so on and so forth, right? And Cortez, ironically, are shoes, right? They're shoes that are somewhat fit for martial arts, you know, and running and so on and so forth. Anyway, so they go over there, okay? Then they take over their breeding cycle. And lo and behold, these people start taking on their shape. Regardless of how tall they were before, their shape, you see the RNA, the gene expression, we see the Hispanic community take on their shape. It doesn't mean they're done. They can still be redeemed until I die, okay? But they take on their shape, okay? And also, they take on their arts, right? Martial arts, for who, right? Who are you marshaling? You're marshaling your children, right? Marital, martial, court-martial, marry tall, mortal combat, right? Why are these tall words? Mental health, mental, marital, martial. Mortal. There's some tractor going by, but you know, it's obvious what's going on here. You know, and when they take on the lion is longer, right? He's tall, right? Prolonged, long for love, and so on and so forth, right? So long, right? Sow your seed. And obviously, these guys didn't stay in the small form. Don't get it twisted. One of the things at this point gives away is their coordination. But with technology, they can modify genes and they can use, you know, they can increase their testosterone. They can do things that can increase their coordination, you know, with the testosterone. Which, ironically, if I remember, I'm going to put that in the video as well, where they said black people are restless in school, and they said that they're inferior, ironically, you know, which even though testosterone has to do with masculinity, because they have too much testosterone. And they've been described as hyper-masculine. So one of the things that separates this kind of Narmer, kind of, you know, black bloodline, but it's not all black people, right? You know, is the testosterone, right? They're taking on this thing like Jeepers Creepers. You know, where'd you get them eyes, right? The eyes of Horus. They want you to see them as the sons of God. Okay, so these are these set people that I'm talking about. They resemble elves. They resemble gnomes. And look at the fucking pictures on the screen and say, oh, he thinks they resemble elves. You can act like a bitch if you want. But the pictures are worth 1,000 words, 1,000 insults for the motherfuckers who play stupid about it. Yes, they resemble elves. Yes, they resemble gnomes. Look at their variations. You know, it's like a people that some of them look like elves and some of them look like gnomes. And some of them look like, you know, dwarves. And it goes back to Bess and the female counterpart, I believe Beset, right? Bess, a short negroid, if you will, faced guy. The sandal bearer, okay? Also goes back to Cupid, okay? And Pan, motherfuckers, you know, let me tell you. Now, do I hate these people because of their people? You know, no. Do I hate them because they have accepted the mark of the beast and they defy God and they continue the rape call energy? I'll let you figure that out on your own. So when they talk about, you know, handle, right? Hone, doll, right? And weapon, they put the we in weapon. Okay? Apron is scrambled, is rape on is Anu, Heliopolis, which is Ra's called center. Okay, on is no backwards. Look at the weapons. You have the circular shaped boomerang. It's a material circle shape, right? It's symbolic of the female's vagina rather than the sun. One could look at it as the earth or the moon. Either way, it is a non-sun symbol in truth. Okay? For them, in that context, in that form. It goes back to form, formidable, formula, blah, 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 all those words. Perform, conform, chloroform, cuneiform, writing, magic spell. Okay. Basically, they had the boomerang. They have the hammer. Remember I told you about these craftsman bitches? Thor's hammer, Hephaestus. He made weapons that was more for the craftsman. He is the guy who makes the weapons, and they just happen to be suited for him. You see the depictions where he's holding a sword that is made for his body type, his form. 4M for magic. Scrambled, morph, and so on. There's also F, Ra, magic, right? You know, which refers to the flesh. Remember, these guys follow Set. They don't care about the true spirit of God. They follow the earth, the flesh, the deity of storm to cloud your judgment, to put mist in the air so you can't see straight. Fog, the F word for gaze. Fugue, a fugue state in the mind. And fugitive. G or F-I-F-U-G. Meaning the G for masonry, which is for key, the Sumerian earth goddess. I tell you, the weapons, right? They have the pitchfork. They have horned motherfucking, they have 2 horns on their heads. Okay, don't you see what they're doing? Yes, that's another symbol for the crescent moon, the horns of the bull, and so on and so forth. But these guys are the depiction of the devil for a reason in their own greater culture because they had internal conflict. Some of these guys had raped enough of other people that they started feeling sorry for them. They started getting close to them, you know. And this story in its kind of superficial fake form is mimicked in the story of America, where they rape and abuse black people and some white people go, hey, this is wrong, right? But do they really mean it on the highest level? No. They're concerned with white supremacy, white power. They only do things like that to make themselves feel better. You know, it goes back to what I said. If you're doing everything wrong, if you're killing babies every day and eating them, can you then give a lollipop to a baby and be like, this is from the bottom of my heart? No, you're a sick fuck. You're an evil fuck. You're in the repetition of evil. Don't you see what's going on here? The hunt, the haunt, the hone, the rape, slavery. Slave, remove the S, you get love, lava, and love. And you can scramble the interchangeable vowel L, the storm deity that Baal overthrew to become the new L, which goes back to Set, the son of Ra, trying to overthrow God with material cowardice, selfishness, childishness, and bitch. You know them by their works. What, you know, among their main works are their reproductive cycle, their children, their forms, and their weapons. Who are they shunning and why? What are they inclined to do? Are these crafty craftsmen snake ninnies? Or are these martial artists? Look at the E words at the end.